Hi everyone, I'm Simon from Sterling Coaching and welcome to the first Monday's Moment video at my new rising stand-up desk, so I can actually move around and you're probably seeing a slightly different background to what you would normally see. In today's Monday's Moment, I want to talk to you about the question that I asked myself for many years as I have been in lots of groups and lots of masterminds and people I know out there that are thinking about joining a group or joining a mastermind of any sort, or even perhaps taking part in a course or some training, really are starting to ask, is this going to be relevant to me? And very often we look at the topics and we ask ourselves that question. And what I want to share is the fact that it's not just happened to me in the past week. This happens to me time and time again. And I just want to share the fact that there is always a lesson that I've been able to take away from everything that I've taken part in. And that's what I'm going to talk about in today's Monday's Moment. See you in a second. Now, it's very interesting that when you take part in a group session or a mastermind of any sort, that we look at the people that are in the room and we look at the presenter, we look at the content, perhaps they give us a list of what they're going to talk about in today's session, and we create a perception of, are we actually going to learn anything today? Is this relevant to me? And very often we can close down our minds and we can shut off ourselves to the opportunities that might come up. And I want to just share a story about one particular session that I was on. And the presenter was talking about how we make things possible. And the presenter said, "Can I ask you a question? Can you put your hands up if you can get to Baton Rouge Zoo?" And as somebody sat in the UK, I thought, well, of course I can get there. So I reluctantly put my hand up because I'm here in the UK. Baton Rouge Zoo, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, isn't. And he put this image up on screen there, and I thought, how relevant is this to me? We're talking about somewhere that's not in my country. I can't see the relevance of what I'm going to potentially be taught here. And it really, really got me to question the relevance of this. But I kept my mind open. And as I did on this webinar, it was an online webinar, I realized that as this presenter was going through, he said, okay, well, you've just raised your hands and said you can get there. You don't even know if there's a zoo. You don't know if when you get there it's going to be closed. And I was reminded of the National Lampoon's, I think it was National Lampoon's Vacation, when they all trawled to, I think it was Wallyland, whatever it was called. And when they got there, it was closed. So there was a lesson to take away from that. And as I sat in this session looking at the image of the Baton Rouge queues, and there was lots of other images there of the zoo, I really felt that, yes, this is relevant to me. These are questions that I ask myself. So whether you're on a webinar, whether you're on a workshop, whether you're in a group program, don't close your mind off and think this is not relevant to me, because there could be a lesson in there. There could be an image in there. It might not even be the lesson as the one that's in the middle. That's one I use in my coach blueprint. It might be the image that triggers something else. I've sat in many sessions with my little notebook and I've seen an image and that's reminded me to do something else. It's reminded me that something that I'd forgotten about that was really important needs doing. It might not even be the lesson that presenter is teaching, but there is very often an image that inspires me to do something because my mind is open. I'm there to grasp an opportunity because ultimately we're hearing the practice, but what we've got to do is embrace the theory, get any content that we can out of it, and then put it into practice. Because what we want to do, whatever we're doing, what we want to do is we want to grab the opportunity by both hands, our hearts and our minds, so that we get to the success that we're looking for as quickly as we can. And yes, will we still get there? Probably, but I'd much rather go the fastest route to success rather than go all the other long way rounds and perhaps have all these different stops. So it's really important that we are open to what we're seeing, the format that we're in, and we're looking at both what am I learning and then how can I implement it? How can I put it into practice? And of course, all these things are important for us as we look to scale and grow our business in the year ahead. It might only be just one small increment. You might be looking at massive difference that you can make, but very often it's those small tweaks, those small lessons that you can learn, those small lessons that you can put into practice. They're the ones that can make the real difference to you. And of course, you can learn things from being on a podcast. You can learn things from listening to the podcast. So I've got 2 podcasts at the moment. Please make a note of these. I've got Sterling's Business Success and Coffee podcast. And I've also got a podcast particularly for Christians in business, and that's business ... space as a Christian, and they're available on all the platforms. The other thing I have are some Facebook groups. If you want details of the Facebook group, so you can be part of a sort of a mastermind, if you like, in a closed Facebook group where things like this get shared and you can share other things as well, please look in the show notes below wherever this video is playing, and you will find the links to that. So I've got a Facebook group particularly for ambitious full-time coaches that are looking to break through those glass revenue ceilings and head towards $30,000+ per month. And I've got a Facebook group for ambitious business owners, particularly that are looking to thrive and strive in a downturn such as we're in at the moment of 2023, but also perhaps are looking for investment or sale and exit in their business as well. So just remember, doesn't matter what it is that you're learning, what you're seeing, it's about being open to and finding the lessons, finding those little golden nuggets that you can take away in your business, your coaching practice for success. And it might not feel that relevant to you at the time, but it might be particularly relevant to you as you sit there and put it into some kind of practice and take the theory and put it into something that you can implement in your business. Hopefully that's giving you just a little bit of something to think about. Just go in there with an open mind and make the most of the time and the investment that you're putting in there for being there, and you'll always take something away. I've learned a lesson every single time I've been in a group session and a mastermind group, whether I've been a participant, which I've done for many, many years, or whether I'm in one of my own groups and one of my own masterminds that I've been running for over 6 years. The choice is yours. You can take away what you want from it, and it's always relevant. So bye for now.